So hey everyone, and welcome back. So now we're going to take a look at the new Nintendo Switch games for this week. Now we are moving into the mid part of January, and finally we're starting to see things kick up a little bit on the Nintendo Switch eShop. And I've singled out 6 games for this week that do look like they're above the others and that definitely merit diving a little deeper into. So now let's take a look at those 6 games. So now we're going to be starting with our first game for today. That is going to be a Blade Chimera. Now this game is coming out on January 16th, which is going to be a very big day possibly for Switch fans out there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check yesterday's podcast. It's all in there. Now, Blade Chimera will be selling for $19.99. However, there is a current pre-order discount dropping it to $17.99. Now, this looks like a very interesting action, like slightly Souls-like game. I know a lot of my audience is very excited for the release of this game. Multiple people showed me the trailer, and I agree, the game looks like it has a ton of potential. And I'm really honestly excited for this one. It's just a little bit too bad that it's coming out on a very, very packed day. But nonetheless, let's take a look at the trailer and see what the game's all about. By the way, if any of the trailers get muted in the video, it's simply for copyright reasons. I will be linking the trailers down below. You can always check them out yourself if I am forced to mute them after I post the video. So let's take a look at Blade Chimera. Now the trailer starts out a little quiet, but oof, it picks up right away. Damn. So we've got a Metroidvania with slightly Souls-like looking combat. Upgrade system that seems extremely interesting, and I've got to say the visuals look amazing. Now, I am very interested to see if the combat feels blocky, because I know when I'm looking at this, it does feel a little blocky in the movements, but it can also be, it could feel very different once we get it in hand. I mean, the boss designs look amazing, let's be honest. Okay, that should be better. So I'm so sorry if the audio was a little bit loud there for the game. I'm going to try to have it better for the other trailers. Normally I have my settings all good, but I've had a little bit of trouble with that over the last couple of weeks. So basically what I was saying, if we come back to Blade Chimera really quickly, is that basically visuals look amazing for the game. However, I am a bit worried about the movement system. It does feel that sometimes that the movement seems a little blocky or stiff. However, it could just be the impressions that the visuals are giving, but they look quite amazing. The combat style seems extremely interesting. There seems to be a lot of leveling, like a nice skill tree in the game that I'm very interested in diving in and seeing if it's going to be offering us like a really, some really nice personalization options. I'm actually really excited for this one. I do definitely want to try it out. Now, will I be able to try it out day one? That might be a little rough because we have other games on that same day that we're going to get to in a couple of seconds that will take priority. But definitely, I would say that this is a game that we should definitely check out. And I will do that champ dancer right after we're done the new games. I will show you on PlayAsia where we can see the languages and whatnot. So we have Blade Chimera on the 16th, but I've got to tell you the 16th is not only a busy day for other things, it is a very busy day for games as well for this week, because we have probably the biggest release so far in 2025 from first party systems, which is Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Now, this is a game, it's a first party game from Nintendo. It will also be releasing on January 16th, and it will be selling for $59.99. So this is a full price $60 game. Now, I know a lot of people gave it some hate for this, and look, do I agree that it should be cheaper? Yes, definitely, but I'm going to say nonetheless, this is one of my favorite Donkey Kong countries. I still have it on the 3DS. It is an excellent entry in the system. It is a return to form for Donkey Kong Country. When this came out, I would say it was a while that we didn't have a really good Donkey Kong Country, and this one was really a return to form for the game. Now, maybe you can wait for a discount. I don't think this one is going to take a long time to see somewhat of a discount. But by the way, if you pick it up on PlayAsia, you can already get it for around 45 bucks. Now, you do have to buy enough games to get the free shipping, but it is a way to get the game immediately a little bit cheaper. Now, I do see a lot of people in the chat saying it should be around 30. I technically would agree with you. I'm just saying that it is a quality entry in the Donkey Kong Country series nonetheless. So if you're the type of person that you can drop the cash and you do want to play this game, I don't think nonetheless you're going to be disappointed. So let's take a look at the trailer. As I said, the price point is very valid. However, you know, we're going to be talking about the merits of the game itself. So the sound should be better this time.
Donkey Kong's back and barreling through the jungle on the Nintendo Switch system. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD.
This I will warn, however, just as in most Donkey Kong countries, this one has a very difficult end game. So, like the last, I would say 15% of the game, you're gonna have to lock in. You're gonna have to lock in.
It all goes down on Donkey Kong Island. It's got a jungle, a beach, some totally ruined ruins, and even a factory.
There's even, I would say, one part of the game where progression, you might not actually know how to progress. You can check it out online, but it does get pretty pretty specific. No, I know it was on the 3DS. I just can't. I'm not sure if it wasn't released on something else before. I think it was released on the Wii, actually.
Check this minecart that's totally off the rails. And the rocket barrel that'll have you blasting off. In some stages, you can even hitch a ride on Ramby's back. Radical.
Yeah, it was released for the Wii originally.
Most levels have 4 Kong letters to collect.
I played it on the 3DS. Exactly, Tropical Freeze was Wii U.
Careful though.
Yeah, the minecarts in this are a bitch.
Will push your skills to the limit. You can use button controls to perform certain actions, or you can gently shake your Joy-Con controllers.
Oh my god. F the motion controls, man.
Plus, you and a pal can explore the island together in co-op, even with only one pair of Joy-Con controllers. Playing in modern mode is a little more forgiving.
Oh, they added in an easy mode, guys.
You can carry up to 9 items.
It's a good thing Grovel's going to be able to play this one. They added in an easy mode.
More hearts and more items means smoother swinging. Very clutch.
Oh my god, you survive if you fall off the level. Yeah, because let's be honest, one of the biggest problems is falling off the level, and
a wild adventure awaits this pair of strong Kongs.
Oh man, that barrel rocket is also very very,
Available
very,
January
very
16th
traumatic.
only on
Like, I'm
Nintendo
getting
Switch.
flashbacks of like wanting to break my 3DS and that barrel, like the barrel rocket levels, not the first ones, but the later ones. Oh my god, that too was actually quite trauma inducing. But it's a good trauma. It's a good trauma, okay? So Donkey Kong Country Returns hitting January 16th. I mean, you're either going to love this or you're not. But if you're up for it, I definitely think it's a great entry. It's a great entry, and I do agree the price is a little steep, but you're either gonna want to get it right away or you're gonna wait for a sale. If you want to wait for a sale, I'm pretty sure that it's gonna hit one fast, and especially if you're ready to wait till holiday season 2025, I think it's gonna be the kind of game that's gonna get some very steep discounts next holiday season. So now let's move on to our next game, which probably is going to be on no one's list of interesting games for this week, except for mine. But sorry, guys, it is a game that definitely has an interest level for me. And I'm going to tell you guys why. It is called Professor Dr. Jetpack. It is releasing also on January 16th. Now, I don't think this is going to be the top of the list for anyone, but it is releasing, however, for only $9.99. Now, it is a propulsion platformer, I would say. But it reminds me incredibly about, like, when I saw it, the reason why I really latched on to this game and was interested is that it reminded me immediately of a game I used to play on the Commodore 64, where you had to land a space taxi. You had a space taxi and you had to control the thrust and the directions, and you had to basically pick up people from one platform and fly them to another platform. But the game was all about controlling the thrust, because basically you couldn't actually decide to go up or down. You could only add more thrust or remove thrust to sort of keep yourself level. And this game immediately reminded me of that. And it is one of those experiences that I've wanted to relive. And this game seems like it's gonna do it. It is basically a propulsion-based platformer. Let's take a look at the trailer. I think this is going to be a long shot for a lot of people, but if you have that itch, it just might be a game that could be extremely fun. So you're playing a dude with a jetpack, and once again, apparently the only thing you can do is control propulsion and direction. And you have to land on platforms. But you're also going to have to eventually basically go through levels. Now, I'm going to warn, I do think this is going to be extremely frustrating as a game. But I think it's going to be frustrating, possibly in a good way. So we don't get much of a view, but I had to highlight this game. You know, I love highlighting at least one long shot every week. One of those games that no one else is going to talk about, but that I think could nonetheless turn out to be a nice, like, budget, funny pickup for the week. And Professor Dr. Jetpack is gonna probably be mine for this week. I do have a couple of other surprise ones on the list, but I think this one is going to be the biggest, like, either you just saw that trailer and you hated it, or you saw that trailer and you're like, I'm somehow oddly drawn to this. And it's gonna be one of those games for this week. So, like I said, January 16th as well, $9.99. Potentially, for the right person, could be something pretty interesting. Now, we still aren't done with January 16th because we have two other games still for January 16th. Now, I'm not actually sure how to pronounce this one. I'm going to go with HynPytol, okay? HynPytol. So, HynPytol. Now, this game is releasing also on January 16th. It's going to be selling for $14.99. Now, it's a puzzle-based game, but it seems to have a very interesting gameplay method that I think, once again, could be surprisingly good. I would definitely say wait for a review or two, or wait till you can see some gameplay or whatnot, but it is possibly an extremely interesting game for this week. I don't think it's as much of a long shot as the last one because like puzzle games, I think always have a way of surprising you with simple gameplay, but that pushes it to an extreme level. Let's take a look at the game. So it's not 100% clear what you have to do to finish the levels, but the visuals and see like this, the gameplay, and there seems to be a little bit of storyline thrown in as well. But this one oddly, like once again, captivated me, and I was like, oh, I think this can be fun. And look, this looks like a Game Boy. I don't know if you guys saw it. But this basically, the level is basically shaped like a Game Boy. You have the screen, D-pad, A and B, and you'll see there's a couple of other surprise ones like that. Like some of the zones actually give me Zelda vibes. Not gameplay-wise, but like visually. Hey, welcome, Starboy. So yeah, I'm thinking this one could be an interesting entry. Now, obviously, it's probably not going to be a priority for many people, but if you're looking for a fun puzzle game, I do think this one has a high potential. Once again, I'm going to remind you, maybe wait for a review or some gameplay sessions to make sure that it's not like too short or like, you know, or that the gameplay doesn't actually turn out to be that captivating, but it has an extremely interesting concept, and I think it looks like something that could be pretty good. Now, let's jump to our next one. And this is another one that the concept, if the other one is a long shot, this one is also a long shot, but oh my God, if they can get this right, this could be freaking amazing. It is called Starlair. And it is also releasing on January 16th. I told you guys, January 16th is a very busy day. And it will be selling for $19.99. Now, I'm basically going to tell you that this is a 2D Metroid Maker. Like, you know how we have Mario Maker? We have games that have tried to be Zelda makers. Well, this game is trying to be a 2D Metroid Maker. And the way it apparently works is that as people build their Metroid levels, they will become a new planet in the universe of the game, and you will be able to travel to those planets and play everyone's Metroid levels. So basically, as more people play the game and create levels, the universe of the game is going to become populated with more planets, and you will be able to travel from planet to planet, never knowing what you're going to find. And the gameplay is very similar to Metroid. Now, this is where I'm saying that the concept is so crazy awesome. If they get it right, this could be amazing. However, if they get it wrong, this could turn out to be mediocre. You understand? But we're going to take a look at the trailer. You're going to see what I'm talking about. The one thing that's worrying me is some of the gameplay looks stiff, okay? But I'm going to reserve judgment till the game is out. But the concept itself, and if this doesn't turn out to be the perfect version of this game, I hope someone makes it. Because the concept that they are launching here is insane. It is called Starlair. Starlair. It's right here on the screen if you can see at the bottom here where I'm circling my mouse. But let's take a look at the trailer and you'll see what I'm talking about. And by the way, it's launching on Steam as well, which is why we might get a much bigger community than expected. And this is the kind of game that to work, it's going to need a community. But look, the upgrades, I just want to clear. Look at the upgrades. This is exactly a Metroid map. Like, this is like Super Metroid. And you travel with your starship from one planet to another. And like, I don't know if Nintendo's watching, but if they were looking for an idea for an actual Metroid maker and they didn't have one, look, and I don't want them to steal someone else's concept, but dude, if we could get the extremely polished version of this, like, the world is big enough for 2 of these games. It also depends on how much variety they're going to have in the assets. You know what I mean? Because that's a big part of... Like, I played some Zelda makers, and I would say that the biggest problem is they never have enough variety for the dungeons to get complex enough where you feel like you actually have a challenging Zelda dungeon. That is maybe the issue that's come up with the Zelda makers I've played. And I played a couple like Super Dungeon Maker and whatnot. You can even create your own music. It's true. You're going to see in a moment, you can create your own characters here by drawing yourself the pixel art. And you can even create your own music. There's a music generator in the game. And I searched up this company. They already have a separate music generator that you can download on the eShop for, like, that's just a music generator. They seem to have integrated their music generator that they already created into the game. I also hope that you can create multiple planets. Like, I hope that the same person can create multiple planets. So what do you guys think? I don't know about you, but like, I'm getting slight chills on this one because it has, like, it can go in both directions. It can be insane potential that skyrockets this game to a bonkers type of experience. Or it could, like, you know what I mean, miss the mark and turn out to be, like, unfortunately disappointing in the gameplay. Because sometimes they also put so much effort in the personalization options that they forget that the moment-to-moment gameplay has to also feel good. I also hope that the developers themselves have created multiple worlds. I hope that the game itself, like, I want the game to be populated by players, but I do hope that they have a baseline of planets already existing so that the people playing in the first week don't wind up with, like, 2 planets that they can visit. Do you understand what I mean? But, like, I think they need to have, like, at least, like, I would say 20 to 30 planets pre-made in the game on launch, where a player that at the beginning says, hey, I just want to play for a while before I decide to build my own planet, has the option to do so. Honestly, I am very, very interested in this one. I think that this one, like I said, has the craziest potential for this week to become a possible phenomenon if it catches on. And the fact that it's on Steam as well is going to help, I believe, this game. The problem is the trailer for the moment only has 509 views. So I feel that a lot of people are not even having this on their radar whatsoever. So hopefully my video today is going to help them a little bit with that. And I'm hoping for this game to be good. Now we have one last game for this week. And finally, we are moving away from January 16th, but we're only moving to January 17th. And that is Tales of Grace's F Remastered. So yes, we're getting another remaster of an entry in the Tales series, but you know what? That's always good news because the Tales series, for the most part, are all really, really good games. Now, this one is releasing, like I said, on January 17th. It will have a base version selling for $39.99. Or a deluxe version selling for $59.99 that seems to have some kind of little added pack to it, as well as the soundtrack separately. Now, Tales series is a great... they're basically great action RPGs. I personally am not familiar with Tales of Grace's. I haven't played this one specifically, so I cannot promise, but I see Champ Dancer in the chat seems to know Tales of Grace's and being excited for it. So I'm going to assume that it's maybe a pretty decent entry in the series. There are very few Tales that I would not consider to be like decent entries that I know of. The only thing is we have to hope that the remaster is well done and that the port is well done and runs well. If all those things hit, we could have it's probably going to be a pretty great game once again. So let's take a look at the trailer. Oh, it's the Tales series 30th anniversary. Yes, I forgot. I saw that last time too. So this is the gameplay features trailer. So we're going to see... they've added destination icons, so I imagine it's going to help with navigation. We can toggle encounters on and off. Now, I'm just going to pause for a second. That seems like a really interesting thing to do because I understand it can be fun to toggle them off. However, it can be a two-edged sword where you don't level like you should. So I think you're going to have to be careful with abusing that. But it does help if you if you don't want to grind through the levels and you want to navigate through the same areas. No problem, Canadian chick. Have a great one. Thanks for stopping by. Now I want to see the battle system. Like, it seems to be a clean battle system for the Tales series. So far, it's looking pretty good. Because I think Tales of Symphonia was disappointing. I didn't play it yet on the Switch, but I think I heard a lot of people saying it was disappointing, the port to the Switch, which is the only reason why I'm a tiny bit hesitant. The DLCs are included. That's pretty good.
So sorry, I didn't get you a gift.
Now, I'm going to say there's a high possibility this one's going to have to be muted. Bandai Namco is sometimes pretty aggressive with their trailers.
Really you?
It got patched? Well, that's good to know. Champ Dance was saying in the chat that Tales of Symphonia got patched and it's not as bad anymore. Or it's okay now. So there we have Tales of Grace's F remastered. Like I said, I think if you're a fan of the Tales series, you're probably going to be immediately into this. That seems to be the case for Champ Dancer in the chat. And but if you're looking for an action RPG, I think this one could be a serious consideration. You might want to wait for a review or two just to see if it needs a patch, just like Tales of Symphonia. That's the only issue sometimes with these games, because they are often multi-platform releases, and sometimes the Switch gets the short end of the stick, especially at the beginning. But yes, so ultimately, I think we have, for the first time in 2025, a decently solid week of releases. I mean, 6 pretty decent games to check out can be fun. We have 3 games that I would definitely put on the higher end of the spectrum, like Blade Chimera, Donkey Kong, and Tails are definitely like on the I'm pretty sure they're going to be good end. And then we have 3 like wild cards that can sort of go in both directions. And like I said, I do think Starlair is the game that has the biggest win to loss ratio, where if they get it right, it can be an absolutely insane win. If they get it wrong, it can turn out to be a disappointment. But overall, I think we have an interesting week in front of us. And I'm glad that we're starting to get back into the flow of things. We're getting regular games. And if you watch the Red of the podcast, you'll see what I'm talking about. But we might have an even bigger release hitting on the 16th, or bigger bit of information hitting on the 16th. But that is basically another story. So I hope you guys enjoyed looking at the new Switch games for this week. Now, there are more Switch games than this, but these are the 6 that stood out to me above the rest. If I did miss out on any, you can let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the games as well. And as usual, I hope I'll see all of you in my next video.